Hello, hello there. This is Pincture. Welcome back to another episode of Planet Crafter. Let's see, I spent most of last episode going and gathering a bunch of resources from down there, and given the plot rundown of Skyward Sword and how I think that entire situation with the Zelda timeline works. My personal timeline that I subscribe to and used for anything that I create in the Zelda franchise, which is not much. Maybe one day, but not yet. It's not ready yet. I'll see if I can't clear the rest of this out today while I ramble on about something that probably doesn't even matter, ultimately. But that's the beauty of it. It may not matter. It may not have a profound effect upon my future, upon other people's future, but maybe it will. And one could argue that that is reason enough. For me, most things I do because I enjoy them. Or because I have to do them. Because there are things in life that you just have to do. As cliched as it is, you have to pick yourselves up by the bootstraps and do something. Impotence helps no one. Even self-imposed impotence, for that matter. Oh, it's going dark. Oh, my inventory's full. Back I go! I probably could be spending this time getting a bigger backpack, but soon there will be water, and I like to have lots of resources. I can feel it in me bones. So, sometimes doing something for the sake of doing something is worth it. I have a project that I've been working on for, it'll be 9 months now. I've not made a ton of progress on it. Really, I haven't. It's not been profound, it's not been amazing. And some would argue that because it was not profound, because it was not amazing, it was not worth it. I don't believe that. Just because something did not have an effect does not mean it's not worth it. To me, that is far too dangerous a thought to truly entertain. Because when you think like that, you trap yourself. And ultimately, the person who can do the most damage to you, bar none, is yourself. That is the truth of that matter. Because you are the arbiter of your own life. You decide. Now, manipulation and forcing things into people in the situations are things outside of your control. But ultimately, you are responsible for your own actions, just as they are responsible for theirs. Their actions put you in that situation, they will speak for it. But you are still responsible for your choice. I believe in personal responsibility. And that's not terribly popular from what I've seen online, but that could just be the places that I view. But your view online tends to be catered to what you look towards. So it's odd to me that is what I see the most of. But yeah, that thing I'm doing it because I want to see if I can. Because before anything else, I want to prove to myself that I can do it. And the only way I can really do that is to do it. Now, it's taken me way longer than I think it would if I had a... Well, it's not that I don't have a passion. I don't have a single-minded dedication to doing this one thing I dedicate all my time towards. I don't. Because unfortunately, that's not viable. It's not something you can just do. Doesn't make sense. It sounds nice. It sounds great. But it is not wrong if you cannot do that either. Pardon me. Just because you cannot dedicate yourself fully into something does not mean it is less. Just because you fail does not mean you are less. Failure's far better than success because it teaches you way far more than success ever would. And that is the truth. You will fail and you will learn. The question is, how many times will you fail? That is your choice. I will fail and I will continue failing in life. What matters is that after I do, that I reflect. I learn what caused me to fail. And I fix it. Knowing what caused you to fail is only half that battle. You have to fix it. So, I think about friends of mine where they know these things and they refuse to actually do anything about it. Think about myself in my own life where I've been too stubborn to do something about it. And that is entirely my fault. Because I was stubborn. That is the simple truth of that matter. No one is perfect. No one will ever be perfect. The world interprets perfection as stagnation. It does not. But it's also not something we can achieve. So any perfection that man achieves is by definition imperfect. There is no perfect system. There's no perfect answer. There are merely answers. And what you do with them and how you get them is your choice. As unpleasant as it can be, it is the truth. Take a quick look at some of these here. Actually, I should check that, shouldn't I? Hold on, let me empty my inventory first. And always remember that people will always disappoint you. Be forgiving. Ooh, sign? Oh, just straight up water. Look at that. Cool. That's actually really useful. That gives me another use for ice. And also gives me infinite water. Ain't that cool? I wanted to do... Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Nice. If you expect someone to never make a mistake, if you expect someone to always do something the same way, You are going to be disappointed. Those are far too high expectations for people. Like, for instance, if I was truly serious about trying to get this planet terraformed as quickly as I possibly could, I would not be doing this. I would be gathering aluminum, and I would be building more power, and I'd be building more machines to let more pressure out, to do more heat, to do more oxygen, do more biomass. But this allows me to talk. And also do something other than just mindlessly grind. And while that is something I tend to enjoy, just losing myself and going from challenge to challenge and beating it and chasing that. Not for this. For this I want to talk. For this I want to have a conversation. As one-sided as it is, without you being able to properly reply to me. There is simplicity. And it is far better to enjoy the simplicity than to seek... Hello. The complexity. Well, that's useful. Hold on. I'll come back for you. Filling up my inventory first. I don't have the space for that. Okay, cool. What does it take to build another nuclear reactor? Because that's really what I need. For ally. Okay, cool. Easy enough to do. Easy enough to do. Where was I? Be accepting of people. Tries to be a philosophy I live by. There are things that I fail at. I don't always perfectly live by that philosophy. But that's not the measure that's not a measure you can hold anyone to. No one ever perfectly lives by that philosophy. Characters in fiction have given us a wrong understanding of that, I think. In a manner of speaking. So, there's a fundamental difference between characters of fiction and people in real life. Characters of fiction do not choose. They are there for one purpose, and one purpose only. They serve the story. Whatever purpose the author has determined is the purpose that they will serve. That is the truth of the matter. Not much else matters in that. People can choose. People will inevitably act irrationally. That is the truth. They will not. And cannot hold themselves to the standards that even they put out. People will fall. People will fail. What matters is their response to it. And if we're being honest, the best characters in fiction fail. They fail to uphold what they believe. They fail to stay consistent. And that is why they're the best characters in fiction, because they feel real. Because they feel connected. Oh, I've reached liquid water level. Uh-oh. I'm expecting this to start flooding soon then. Well, I better get the valuables. Yep, let's keep going. Can probably get through that. Okay. So let's try to think. Going through my mental category, my lists of characters, fictional characters that I like, that I think are well made. Let's take Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Aang. A defining portion of his character, quite possibly the defining portion of his character, is the fact that he is a pacifist. But he is tasked with ending a war that has lasted 100 years. And we see throughout the entire show he constantly fights. And that is because his pacifism does not arise out of a distaste for fighting. It is a distaste for killing. And his pacifism is shown full force in the ending of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Of the importance there. A major point in Avatar: The Last Airbender especially in the end of Avatar, is that Aang does not want to kill. At all. Whatsoever, if he can help it in the slightest. But it seems as if he will not have a choice. He will have to kill Ozai. He is practically told as such. Another giant laser. He's told he will not be able to do it. But that's his point. Aang refuses. He spits on the advice of his predecessors like an immature 12-year-old. There's one line he will not cross. But we see earlier in Avatar that he is not hesitant to cause violence. And he probably did kill a few people. Honestly. But it was the fall that killed them. The major point in him is pacifism. Another major point is cowardice. And that's probably an unfair way to say that. He's 12. His voice didn't even drop yet. And the weight of the world was put on him. That is unfair. And that would terrify any child. And they should be. Those monks that did that are the kind of people I do not like. They are the kind of cowards that... I guess there's no ice there. They lead to more trouble. Though, in some cases, I think it might have been bait. If Aang had not known about that, he would have died with the Airbenders. That is a simple truth. He probably would not have survived at all if he had not run away. As unfortunate as that is. He was a coward, ultimately. But not one to be loathed and despised. One who's to be sympathized with. I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank on so many characters. I have so many different characters that I know about, so many different characters that I like. And yet, when I think about this, I'm pulling blanks. That's highly frustrating. I'm going to do a proper character breakdown. So, but I guess I can pull on something I do know a lot of. I don't want to talk about Zelda all the time, but it keeps coming back to that. I got a few more minutes. So, let's take Zelda. Zelda from Ocarina of Time, specifically. So, Zelda often is defined as a wielder of wisdom. But she was strict. More essentially, she made a foolish decision because of her immaturity. Wisdom comes with maturity. That is a truth. And unfortunately, Zelda could not have been older than like 10 or maybe 12 during the events of the first half of Ocarina of Time, which directly preclude the second half. If Zelda had not done what she did, things would have ended much better. But that is not what happened. Zelda found Link, and because of her fear, and because of her knowledge that Ganondorf was plotting evil against the king. But the king would not believe her because she is just a child. Zelda had prophetic dreams. And so, Zelda had prophetic dreams, and they showed her a bright light shining out of the forest. Showed her that someone would come and would help her. That someone was Link. When she met him, she was very excited, and she gave him a task. Get the other spiritual stones. Because he already had one. Link does so. And in doing so, he saves two of the nations, two of the races of Hyrule, the Zoras and the Gorons. He saves the Gorons. The Zoras are a little iffy in that regard. What does my power look like? That's a lot of spare. That's good. I'm going to build more of these soon. So Link does, he goes, he does it. When he returns to Princess Zelda with his prizes in hand, he finds that Ganon has attacked. His plan was realized, but his plan ultimately was to get the Triforce, which he didn't know how to get. And future us would find that it was guarded by a seal. It can only be opened by playing the Song of Time on the Ocarina of Time. And using these spiritual stones to open the door of time. It is further reinforced by a seal held in place by the Master Sword, which is a little iffy on who all can touch it and move it. Ganondorf is one of the people who decidedly cannot at all touch it ever, or he would probably die. And that's the truth. I half expected water to start flooding down, but I suppose melting ice is a long endeavor. General idea is that Zelda and Link are pretty much the only two people who can really touch the Master Sword and not die from it, because of the nature of the Master Sword and its general power and purifying nature. We know that evil cannot touch it, so it is the blade of evil's bane. Its express purpose is the destruction of evil, which, as a concept in Zelda, is interesting to see how it's defined, because it is literally just generic evil. And that's part of the reason why I love Zelda. There is simply evil. There's not truly a reason for it. It just simply is. And that is reflective of life. As much as people hate to admit that, there are people who are simply bad. People who simply do things because they want to do them. And those things are objectively bad. So yes, evil does exist. But I don't think it is necessarily our right to declare whomever we want to be evil, because that's another pitfall. That leads us down too dangerous a road. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Here to talk about Zelda being foolish. If Zelda had not sent us on our quests, the Gorons would have died. And that is the truth. They would not have been able to save themselves, because they were all starving. The Zoras would have lost a princess. That is the simple truth. But if Zelda had not told us to open and obtain the Triforce, open the door of time, and take the Master Sword and open the way to the Sacred Realm, Ganondorf would never have been able to have gained the Triforce. And yet, in that timeline, the child timeline as it's called, Ganondorf has the Triforce of Power. Now, why would this be? I have an explanation that makes sense in my eyes, and I can go over it quickly. So, the ending of Ocarina of Time, Ganon is defeated, the Triforce is not used to make a wish. I believe it is split into its parts again. So Zelda has wisdom, Link has courage, and Ganon has power. But Ganon is, I believe, sealed away with the Triforce of Power. It's raining. I wonder if that'll mean something for me. If it'll start to gather. Okay, I'll leave these here for now. Okay, I'll head my way back this way. So, but then Zelda decides to send Link back in time to regain his childhood because of her own foolishness, because she recognizes that. And she realizes that she was wrong, and she wants to make amends. And that is highly important to me. That proves Zelda's wisdom. Wisdom to know that she made a mistake. Thunder. That'd be interesting to see. I need to go get that before I drown down here. But when she sends Link back, it seems as if the piece of the Triforce that was in Link's soul, the Triforce of Courage, came back with him. And because the Triforce is seemingly omnipotent, I guess, we don't know for certain if it is. It's not actually, we're not actually told. Which is kind of annoying, but also entirely in line with what Nintendo does, so I can't complain too much. The Triforce is a MacGuffin that does whatever Nintendo wants it to do. That's the truth of the matter. I have no more aluminum. Boink. And so, in sending Link back with that piece of the Triforce still in his soul, I believe that because there can only be one Triforce, essentially, that it has to have recognized the presence of Link, and because it is nearly omnipotent, practically omnipotent, is omnipotent, and omniscient, to a sense, it seems that the Triforce has a bit of will of its own, and I'll probably get into that discussion later. I recognized that and realized, oh, this person has a duplicate piece of the Triforce? That's not good. We'll have to remedy that. And so split and reconciled itself. Zelda got wisdom, Link got courage, and Ganondorf got power. And that allowed Ganondorf to cheat death. Now, let me save real quick. Okay, cool. We left off at 3.6 million Ti. So I hope you'll remember that. It's quite good, I say. Let me actually take a look at my progress bar. Lakes! Oh, okay. Slow going then. Okay, cool. I think next time I will either finish gathering all those resources or actually like go and explore some more. I think I should go explore some more. I should try to make myself the rocket pack. That should be my next big goal. So, left it off there. And I think that'll be all for now. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe. Let me know if I should keep doing this or not. Thank you for your time. Have a great day.